No one ever sat in the old brown armchair by the window. Not even the cat. It had been 9 years since Adam Walters walked out the front door of 48 Ellery Street and never came back. He didn't leave a note, a reason, or even a goodbye. Just his cup of coffee, still steaming, and a quiet Sunday morning that turned into a storm inside the hearts of his family. His wife, Dana, was 39 then. Now she moved slower, her laugh rarer. She still folded laundry for 4 even though only 3 lived in the house. Nino was 17 when he left, angry, smart, and just old enough to know what abandonment felt like. Now she was 26 and living in the basement again, pretending it was temporary. Then there was Elijah. He was only 8 when it happened. He didn't remember much except that he spilled orange juice on the carpet that morning and thought that's why his dad left. No one told him otherwise. The town of Everland didn't ask questions. People in small towns never do. They offered casseroles, hugs, and silence. Eventually, they stopped coming around altogether. That's just how things go. At school, Elijah got good at pretending. He was the class clown, always the funny guy. But no one knew he cried in the janitor's closet when he saw a father pick up their kid. Or how he used to sit on the porch hoping Adam would drive by, roll down the window, and say, "Hey, sport." But he never did. What they didn't know, what none of them knew, was that Adam had left something behind other than pain. A secret. And on one ordinary Tuesday morning, that secret started to unravel when a letter addressed to Adam arrived in the mail. Dana stared at the envelope like it was a ghost. It was cream-colored, slightly yellow at the corners, no return address. Just 3 words handwritten on the front in sharp, crooked letters. Adam Walters. The mailman had slipped it through the door like it was any other bill. Elijah found it on the hallway floor when he came home from class, dropped it on the kitchen counter, and forgot about it. Now Dana was holding it like it could burn. She hadn't said his name out loud in years. She turned it over, checked the back, held it to the light, but there was no clue where it came from. "Mom?" Elijah walked in, chewing on an apple. "You good?" She blinked fast. "Yeah, just junk mail." But it wasn't. She slipped it into her sweater pocket when Elijah turned away. Later that night, after everyone was asleep, Dana sat on the floor of her bedroom with the envelope in her lap. The lamp beside her cast a weak yellow glow. The walls were quiet, filled with the kind of silence only a missing father could leave behind. She opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper, typed, plain, no name at the bottom, no greeting, just, "The past you buried didn't stay buried. Ask Nina about March 14th. Dana's hands began to shake. She reread it 5 times. Her heart pounded like it used to when Adam came home late and drunk, but this time it wasn't fear, it was something colder. Ask Nina about March 14th. She didn't know what that meant, but Nina did. And that terrified her. Nina hated mornings. She worked night shifts at the diner downtown and slept in the basement because it was dark and quiet, 2 things she loved. But when Dana knocked on the door at 7:10 a.m. sharp, something felt wrong. "Nina," her mom called through the door, "I need to talk." "No offense, but is it gonna make sense before 10 a.m.? Nina groaned from under her blanket. Dana opened the door anyway. She looked like she hadn't slept. Her sweater was still on, and her eyes were red. She held up the paper. "Does March 14th mean anything to you?" Nina sat up fast. "What?" Dana stepped inside, her voice lower now. "Someone mailed this, no return address. It says ask Nina about March 14th. Nina's face drained of color. Her heart dropped. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said too quickly. Dana narrowed her eyes. "Nina, don't lie to me. What happened on that day?" Nina stood, clutching the blanket to her chest. "It was years ago." Dana froze. "So you do remember something?" Nina hesitated, then turned away. "I thought it didn't matter anymore. I thought we agreed not to talk about that week." "I never agreed to anything," Dana whispered. "You never told me anything." Nina looked back at her mother. "I didn't think it was my place." "Nina, what happened?" Silence. Then Nina whispered, "I saw him, the day after he disappeared." Dana's knees almost gave out. "What?" Nina's voice cracked. "March 14th. I saw Dad. He was across the street from the school, just standing there, watching me. Nina had never told anyone. Not even her ex, not even her best friend, not even herself, really. She buried that memory like it was a bad dream that would rot if exposed to air. I didn't tell you because… Nina stopped. Because I didn't know if it was real. Dana sat on the edge of the bed, shaking. You saw him. After he left. Nina nodded slowly. March 14th, a week after he disappeared. I was in school, just came out of science class. I looked out the window and he was standing under that busted street lamp across from the football field. Did he say anything? No, Nina whispered. He just looked at me, didn't wave, didn't smile. Then he walked away. Dana's breath hitched. Where did he go? I don't know, I ran outside. But he was gone. They both sat in silence. The only sound was the old basement radiator hissing like it was holding in a secret too. Why didn't you tell me? Dana asked. Nina wiped her face. Because I was scared that if he was alive and watching us, it meant he chose not to come back. Later that day, Elijah got curious. He'd overheard parts of the conversation, just enough. He was 17 now. Old enough to notice tension. Old enough to open his mom's drawer while she was in the shower. He found the envelope. He read the letter. The past you buried didn't stay buried. Ask Nina about March 14th. Then he Googled March 14th, Everlyn. Nothing came up. Until he checked the local archive site, forgottennews.everlynjournal.com. Buried in old police logs, he found a line. March 14th. Suspicious fire reported at 10:43 p.m. in the West Storage Facility off Harper Street. No suspects identified. And guess who used to work there? Adam Walters. The West Storage Facility was just a 5-minute bike ride from their house. Elijah had passed it 100 times without thinking. Just a row of old warehouses with rusted gates, graffiti, and broken windows, like everything else that Everlyn forgot. That night, he waited until Dana was asleep, then sneaked out with his flashlight and skateboard. He had to see it. Harper Street was dead silent. No streetlights worked anymore. The warehouse was fenced, but the side gate had a piece missing. Elijah slipped through. The building was half collapsed. One wall had caved in, and inside were piles of blackened boxes, melted crates, and soot-covered tools. It smelled like wet ashes, even after all these years. He didn't know what he was looking for until he found a rusted metal locker half buried under rubble. The door was bent, but he managed to pry it open. Inside there was a metal toolbox. Inside the toolbox, tucked between dusty screws and a faded wrench, was a photo. A photo of him. It was old, he must have been 5. Sitting on his dad's shoulders at the beach. Dana smiling in the background. Adam laughing. Elijah felt something sting behind his eyes. Rage? Sadness? He didn't know. He flipped the photo over. Something was written in pencil. Still mine, no matter what she says. He stumbled back like the photo slapped him. Who was she? His mom. That night, Elijah didn't sleep. And the next morning, when he confronted Dana with the photo, she looked like she saw a ghost. I don't know what that is, she said too quickly. Yes, you do, Elijah whispered. What happened that night? Dana looked at her son with trembling lips. I never told you this, but your dad didn't just leave. Dana had sworn she would take the secret to her grave. But now her son was staring at her with Adam's eyes. That same sharp stare, like he already knew and was just waiting for her to say it out loud. So she did. I found a receipt in his jacket the night before he left. For a storage unit. Harper Street. Elijah's jaw tightened. I thought maybe he was hiding something, Dana went on. So I drove there after you kids were asleep. The room felt like it shrank. Elijah didn't move. He barely breathed. I found boxes of papers, fake IDs, stacks of cash, weapons, I don't know. I panicked. I thought, what if he's into something dangerous? What if he drags us into it? She blinked back tears. I took one of the boxes, brought it home. I was gonna confront him. But I didn't get the chance. Why not? Elijah asked. Dana looked away. Because that night, the place burned down. Elijah froze. You think he set it on fire? I don't know. Maybe to destroy evidence. Maybe someone else did it, but after that he was gone. No note, no trace. Like he vanished. She pulled out a folded piece of paper from her wallet. She had carried it for years. It was a copy of a police report. No bodies recovered. Fire ruled accidental. No foul play suspected. I filed a missing person report. Cried in front of 2 detectives. They looked at me like I was crazy. One said, maybe he just wanted out. Dana's voice cracked. I didn't want you to grow up thinking your dad was a criminal, or worse. Elijah whispered, but he might have been both. For days, Elijah couldn't stop thinking about the storage fire, the hidden cash, and the words on the back of that photo. Still mine, no matter what she says. What did it even mean? Was Adam watching them all this time? Waiting? Planning something? Nina tried to brush it off. Our father's gone, Eli. Even if he's alive, he's not coming back. But Elijah couldn't let it go. And then something strange happened. It was Thursday. He was working his part-time job at Wilson's Groceries, bagging oranges and avoiding small talk when he saw a man walk past aisle 6, tall, faded blue jacket, limp on the right leg. Something about him made Elijah freeze. He dropped the fruit, ran after him. But by the time he reached the end of the aisle, the man was gone. He looked out the glass doors. No one there. Later that night, he couldn't sleep. So he did what desperate people do. He posted on Everlynn's Lost and Found Facebook group, looking for a man named Adam Walters, last seen 9 years ago. If anyone has old photos from Harper Street, please DM me. Most people ignored it, until one message came through. From a woman named Bettina Holt. Your dad used to rent a room above my diner. I saw him again last year. He was going by the name Cal. I thought he was dead. Elijah nearly dropped his phone. He showed the message to Dana. Dana turned pale. Bettina, I know her. You do? She and Adam used to work together, years ago before we got married. Dana grabbed her keys. Wait, Elijah said. Where are we going? To Bettina's diner. Bettina's diner sat at the edge of town, surrounded by dying grass and silence. It used to be a local favorite before the freeway was built and traffic stopped coming through. Now it was mostly regulars, the occasional lost trucker and ghosts. Dana and Elijah walked in just after sunset. The bell over the door jingled. Bettina looked up from behind the counter, and her face dropped. Dana forced a tight smile. Long time. Bettina looked from her to Elijah and back. She sighed. So, you found the letter? You sent it? Dana asked. Bettina nodded slowly. I didn't know who else to turn to. They sat in a booth near the back. Bettina poured them coffee even though no one asked. I saw him, she said quietly. About 10 months ago. Came in here like nothing ever happened. Sat at the corner booth, ordered black coffee and eggs. Said his name was Cal, but I knew that face. Elijah leaned forward. Did you talk to him? I did, she said. And I asked him why he never went back. And, he said, they're better off without me. I ruined everything. Dana clenched her jaw.
Coward.
Bettina said he left me this, reaching under the counter. She pulled out a notebook. Said to give it to you. If you ever came looking. Elijah took it and opened to the first page. It was Adam's handwriting. Messy, familiar. If you're reading this, I guess I don't get to disappear after all. The notebook held everything. Adam's confessions about the storage unit. He was helping a friend launder money. Didn't realize how deep it went until it was too late. When Dana found the box, he panicked. The fire was staged to fake his death and protect the family. But after it worked, he convinced himself they didn't need him. Then he saw Nina at school. Then he saw Elijah biking down Ellery Street. But he never went back. Because he didn't believe he deserved it. 3 weeks later, Dana got a letter. No return address, no name. Just one sentence. I'm sorry I didn't knock. She burned it. She didn't tell Nina or Elijah. But sometimes at night, when the wind was quiet and the house creaked just right, she swore she heard footsteps outside. And once, just once, the old brown armchair had a fresh dent in the cushion, like someone had sat down, just for a moment, and then left again.